Hello everyone, Rabbi Abe here. Welcome to the video. Today I'm going to discuss how do you know if you are on the right path? How do you know if you're in the right thing? How do you know if you're in the right relationship? How do you know if you're in the right work? How do you know if you're on the right path in your life? I mean, the obvious question is, well, is it working for you? Well, let's go into it because we have a 3,400-year-old understanding of how we could know, if we're in the right path, so to speak, in whatever it is that we're doing. Before we go right into it, I just want to mention, remember, we have an Angels Masterclass June 30th. You want to know more about it, go to rabbieabe.com, click on the link over there. It'll be very obvious to see, and you can find out more about that. Also, for anyone who wants to support the Rabbi Abe platform, there's lots of ways to do that. Opportunity to contribute on the website or right on YouTube. You become a member of the channel. And, whatever, any support is appreciated so that we can continue to put out free content and, do our best to bring more enlightenment to all those who seek this particular brand of enlightenment. So I want to go into it. Again, the question is, how do we know? How do we know if we're on the right path or not? So the universe really gave us some instructions. And I want to read to you. Of course, the Bible itself is 3,400 years old. And unfortunately, without a Kabbalistic explanation, according to the Kabbalah, according to the Zohar, and according to those ancient sages who were masters of the Kabbalah, we can't understand the word that the Bible is talking about. Sure, lots of nice stories, maybe some lessons, but obviously full of contradiction, full of things that really don't make any sense, and it was never meant to be taken literally. But if we go to Leviticus chapter 26, okay? Chapter 26 in Leviticus, verse 3, it says, Im b'chukotai telecho ve'et mitzvotai tishmoru, v'asitam otam, v'natati gishmechem bi'ita, v'natata ha'aretz yivula, ve'etz hasadeh yitnu pirio, yitain pirio. So what is it saying? If you follow in my laws, and are careful to keep the not rituals, but rather, literally, it's translated poorly, unfortunately, over here. Commandments doesn't mean commandments. We're not going to get into that discussion. But if you keep these, let's call them recommendations, spiritual recommendations, I will provide you with rain at the right time, so the land will bear its crops, the trees of the field will provide fruit, and you will have so much in your threshing season. You will have your fill of food, you will live securely in the land. And lots of other things. Peace, you'll have also peace, and I'm just kind of paraphrasing. All your enemies will be, you'll defeat all of your enemies, and you will be fertile, you'll have children, and so on. In other words, only good stuff, right? Blessings upon blessings. Because I am the Lord your God who brought you out of Egypt, where you were slaves. Okay? I brought you out of Egypt where you were slaves. Important to remember. Verse 18. But if you don't listen to me, I'll increase your punishment for your sins sevenfold. I'll break your pride, your aggressive pride, making your skies like iron, your land like brass, and I don't even want to read the rest because it's just so discouraging, depressing, But it says, not good stuff. Not good stuff. Okay. And in fact, there are curses in this portion of Leviticus that, just begin from verse 3 on. In fact, there are 98 curses. 98 curses. That's a lot, okay? In fact, the most terrible, horrible things is what it says that, if you don't listen to God, you're going to be punished. 98 curses and whatever they are. Doesn't mean you're going to have all of them, but, some of them, and it's certainly not going to go well. All right, well, this needs to be decodified, because how does this fit in with another video that I did that God doesn't punish? God doesn't punish. However, clearly it seems to suggest that God does punish. So maybe Abe is, giving you, bad interpretation, bad understanding. Well, no, I'm not, right? I'm just giving you the Kabbalistic understanding. Whenever the Bible talks about punishment or reward, what it is speaking about for the spiritually minded individual, and I say spiritually minded individual because for one who is uneducated spiritually, it appears that there is punishment or reward. If you did a good thing and you see good feedback, you say you were rewarded. If you plug your lamp into the electrical outlet and there is current there, the light goes on, you've been rewarded. Oh, no. That's not the way we speak, though, is it? And if you put your finger in the socket, you've been punished. Also not. You know why? Because we understand how electricity works. You see, the Bible was written for all generations. All generations. And in what we call the 1% understanding, which means only the superficial understanding of things, according to solely the physical realm, absolutely punishment. There is punishment, there's reward. The 1% realm, as we are calling it, is only the physical realm. In the 99% realm, which is more than 1%, meaning in the realm that we do not see, there is no such thing as punishment. There is no such thing as reward. There is cause and effect. Now, you can call cause and effect reward and punishment if you like, but that would be like saying, the electricity rewarded me or the electricity punished me. No, if you understand the mechanism of that electricity, then you know how it works, and then you'd be foolish. You would be foolish to hit your finger with a hammer, wouldn't you? I mean, why would that be foolish? Because you understand the effect without having to do it. I mean, it would be ridiculous. An imbecile will take a hammer and smash their finger with it. Because you know. But if you don't know, then it's problematic, isn't it? And that's the difference between learning Kabbalah and not. Because Kabbalah itself, this wisdom, answers the questions that are behind the scenes as to how things operate and why things happen. So, again, according to the Kabbalah, to the 99%, the behind-the-scenes understanding of the Torah, of the Bible, of life, because life is a story. What's behind a story? We all got a story. What's behind our story? We don't necessarily know. Things happen we don't understand. So, no such thing. So all these things, in fact, there's a big clue. I said there were 98 curses in this portion, and 98 numerically, in numerology, according to the Kabbalists, because not just any numerology is what we'll call valid. It needs to be something that's been mentioned by the Kabbalists that have a lineage, not just by anybody who says they're a Kabbalist. I mean, I don't call myself a Kabbalist. I don't. I'm a student of a Kabbalist, but I'm not a Kabbalist. A Kabbalist is a very high level, I won't get into it, but is certainly part of a lineage that goes back to the time of Moses, and that's what we would consider a Kabbalist. Anyone who has something to say, who wrote a book and sells it on Amazon, doesn't mean they're a Kabbalist, okay? Not at all. Okay, but having said that, so what do the Kabbalists have to say? 98 is a code word for cleansing. It means tzach in Hebrew, tzach klalot, 98 curses, but tzach is two things that we can put attention to. It is cleansing, it means washing, to wash something out, and also, it also means slach. Slach in Hebrew numerically is forgiveness. Forgiveness. What does forgiveness have to do with cleansing? Well, I mean, you can probably draw your own conclusions, but we would need the Kabbalistic understanding of forgiveness, okay? And I'll put the link for the video that I did on forgiveness, which, most of what we think is forgiveness is a bluff spiritually. Because if we don't take responsibility to whatever happens to us through other people, we can never change it. If we want to change a circumstance, we need to take responsibility, and that takes into consideration reincarnation. It takes into consideration how I might have affected them, and now they've come back to assist me. So I'm not going to go into the whole discussion. You can see it on the video that I've linked in the description. But having said that, it's important to realize that, wait a second, everything that happens, everything that we see and they say, oh my God, this is terrible, this is a bad thing that's happening. No. The first clue is to teach us that everything happens for the sake of cleansing. Everything. Cleansing to get back to our root. Cleansing to get back to the truth of us. The truth of our soul. Where we need to be. What we need to be doing. But if we don't take it that way, and we take it as a curse, we take it as a bad thing, and we don't say to ourselves when the bad thing happens to us from our perspective only. We can't tell other people to do that, but we can certainly, with our spiritual free will, we can say, wow, this is a pleasure. I mean, I have a headache. Wow, this is amazing. This is a pleasure. This is a pleasure. Why? Because we want to create a spiritual opening. The moment we say, oh, no, I don't want this, and right away, reactively run for the aspirin, the Tylenol, whatever, and I'm not saying don't take it. All I'm saying is don't run after it like it's the answer reactively. Because if that pain came, it came to help me, to cleanse me, to open me up. Okay? So first I got to go through that little consciousness trip. And then, if I'm going to take the Tylenol or Advil or whatever, take it. But take it with a different consciousness. Don't take it as a reactive, like, this is my cure. Yeah, for 4 hours it's a cure. The headache doesn't go away forever, does it? What do we want? Temporary relief, like it says on the label? Or do you want more permanent relief? And that's what the ancient sages were telling us. Permanent relief means to bring the light into our life. Yeah, we have blockages. And when light hits a blockage, there's a pain. There's a challenge. Yes. But what we're here to say in this video today is it shouldn't be all the time. It shouldn't be all the time. The Kabbalists explain in this portion that what it's really telling us is how to know if we're on the right path, how to know if what we're doing is really right for us. So, ask yourself a question. To understand this is relatively simple. I don't say it's simple to do, but understanding this principle, I think we'll all understand it quite simply. If you've ever tried to do something, or if you're in a situation where whichever way you turn, there's an obstacle. It's like you turn this way, this doesn't work, and this takes your energy. And then you turn around over here, and it's like you're banging your head against the wall. It's like it's not going, it's not flowing, it's just not working. How often I get the question that, how do I know if I'm on the right path? How do I know if I'm in the right job? How do I know if I'm in the right relationship? Well, ask yourself, do you feel you're in the right relationship? No, I don't say that we are accurate in our feelings. But if wherever you turn, you hit this obstacle, you hit an obstacle, you hit an obstacle. What the Bible is teaching us, according to the Kabbalah, in a coded way, is that if you follow my path, what do you mean? Whose path? It's our path. If we're on our path, it should be relatively smooth. It means it should flow. If you're not flowing, now that doesn't mean everything is easy. Hang on. Don't change yet. Don't change the video yet. Wait till I finish this idea, then you can go if you want. If it's not flowing between layers, now what do I mean by that? We must look at our life and every stage, because life is built, the way our every incarnation is built is, let's call it like an onion. Okay? Now, if you know how an onion is, an onion has layers. Okay? Layers and layers. And between each layer of the onion, there is a space until you get to the next layer. Right? So we all understand that. So, layer, space, layer, space, layer, space. That's a process. Why is it so? Because it's to teach us that our life, the way it's supposed to flow, is it flows for a certain amount of time, and then we have a space. What is it? What is a space? A space where there's no light. Now, in the teachings, it explains that wherever there's no light, of course, you have confusion, chaos, frustration, whatever, difficulty, challenge. Can be big challenge. Those challenges should be between the layers of the onion. Why? Because according to the rules of Kabbalah, receiving, because that's what Kabbalah is teaching us, is how to receive. Between the layers, there has to be an opportunity, there has to be growth. It can't be just simple, easygoing, flowing. No. It won't flow between layers of the onion. No. There must be a challenge, but that challenge will be the signal that you are now at a point where you can go to your next level. That's important. So in that state, and it could be a tough challenge. It could be tough challenging. Okay? Wherever that challenge appears, it could be a tough challenge. But again, wherever there's a tough challenge, where it was smooth, and then boom, that's a sign of, wow, my opportunity to go to the next level. Of whatever, of health, of life, of consciousness, of understanding, of my relationship, of my job, my work, my business. Everything can be, all going great with clients all the time. And then, boom, all of a sudden, nobody calls you, it's quiet, whatever. Yeah, again, why is that? Because there must be the period of growth. What's the test? In the middle of the layers of the onion, okay, I'm giving you a hint, a clue, it's a secret. How negativity works on us is to cause us to lose desires, to become depressed, to become despondent, to become unmotivated, uninspired between the layers of that onion. And then what happens? Well, now you've caused yourself a problem. It wasn't a cosmic problem, it was a cosmic process. But now you created a cosmic problem. Why? Because when we respond and react to the middle of the in between layers in that way, what we do is cause separation. We have to sort of rebuild our consciousness to whatever degree we lose it. Because desire, the pure desire to move forward, which is truly the pure desire to receive more of the Creator's light in whatever we do. That's the purest thing there is. When it becomes a selfish or self-desire, only for myself in a selfish way, prideful way, well, there's backlash from that as well. But again, this is the trap. It's a trap. Don't lose your desire, never lose your desire. When you're in the middle of the layer of the onion, you say, this is amazing, give me more, and this is my opportunity to increase my desire, never lose it. Even if you physically lose something, you lose money or whatever, don't go down from it. In other words, when I say go down, don't lose your desire, increase your desire. It's the most important thing you can do, because that negativity is designed to kill our desire. And when we kill the desire is necessary in order for us to draw down more spiritual energy, light, Creator's light. Must have desire. So, now we have a difference. What's the difference? The difference of the chaos and confusion or challenge that is between the layers of an onion, or it's happening all the time, including within the layers. And if that's the scenario, if you're in a relationship, okay, and again, I don't like to say this, but it needs to be said. If you're in a relationship and you're fighting every day, but there are bright moments, oh wow, when it's great, it's amazing. But 99% of the time we fight. No, that's not no. It needs to be the other way around. Fighting is good. Couple that doesn't fight, you need to ask why. You're afraid to express, whatever it is. You need to fight or disagree. Occasionally. In other words, maybe 5%. But the rest of the time should be good. Only when there's a new growth. However that it plays out between a couple. A growth process. There's growth process in everything. Growth process in our health. Growth process in our work. We go through a flat line sometimes. Sometimes it's lasting a little too long. We begin to wonder, that's a trap. You begin to have uncertainty, like what's going on here? No, trap. When we fall into that trap, it's only going to last longer. Again, if it was flowing before, it will flow again as long as you don't lose the consciousness. You're going to grow. Or you may get another opportunity, right? Bigger, better, greater. As long as you're following those steps, you're following the plan. Yeah, the Bible's giving more formal plans. There are certain things we should be doing in a relationship. There are certain things we should be doing in work and business and money matters. Yeah, absolutely. Well, sometimes we need to learn what we need to be doing and how to increase our wealth and so on. But the basic idea here is really pretty simple. If the challenges and the obstacles are coming between the layers of the onion, absolutely normal And we should wonder. If it isn't happening, we should wonder. Okay? So when it does happen, we have to say, amazing, great, what a pleasure. I want to grow. I want to increase my desire through this. But if it's all the time, and if it's happening, again, the majority, the great majority, then you're probably fighting a battle that's just there to kind of take your energy, and it's not the optimal situation for you. It may indeed be, the sign that you're looking for to change that situation for yourself, because that's not the way it's supposed to be. It's not supposed to be a battle all the time. That relationship's not supposed to be a battle. How do you think, I have, my students sometimes come to me and say, well, how do I improve it? Man, you're fighting all the time and you're going to get married. You think it's going to improve? No. If it's this way now, it's going to get worse. I can sign it. I can guarantee that, okay? Because things don't improve just because, we go further, deeper into it. No. We have to have a working plan. We have to know, wait a second, we have to have an affinity for that thing. When we're on the path in whichever area that we need to be on for that time, and it can change. Sometimes a path is temporary. Yes, sometimes a relationship is temporary. Doesn't mean it was the wrong one. We're not saying that. But we need to learn what we need to learn from it rather than, feel stuck in it or trapped in it. Then we need to know how to handle that. A career that is not going anywhere and there's no growth there. Does that mean we, destined to be here all our life and I hate it? No, of course not. We're not here to suffer. That's not why we're here. We're here to grow. We're here to be happy. We're here to be healthy and sustain, sustenance, abundance. The Creator wants only good for us. And that's ultimately what the portion is saying. But if you're not following your path, well, it's going to feel like a curse. It's going to feel like nothing but curses. Where the forgiveness and the cleansing comes in, I put the link in the description for the video. Go back to that video, and I highly recommend watching the video on forgiveness, because we must, if we want to grow spiritually, we absolutely must know what spiritual forgiveness is. Okay? Any comments or questions, please put in the comment section. And remember the Angels Masterclass, how to use angels and holy names, and have a secret for you in the end of that masterclass as well. Go to RabbiAbe.com, and I'll see you over there, guys. Be blessed. Thanks for watching.